Hello. Welcome to another episode of Telling Everybody Everything. Bobby's here.
Hi.
I can tell you're ready to talk.
Well, I'm just holding the microphone strange, I suppose.
Because
we're in the bed, so I don't know really what to do with the microphone. But
I have taken to my bed once again. I nearly died yesterday of norovirus or food poisoning. We'll never know.
Yeah, one or the other.
That's not close enough to your face. You're going to get complaints.
I don't think so because my mic problem is now fixed, but I think what you had was more than likely food poisoning. That's what I pray for, so it's not contagious.
Yeah. Well, this family's had a hard 4 weeks. Holland was born exactly 1 month ago, and then Bobby and Violet have had some type of sinus thing. People are like sinus people or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're just prone to it, and the two of you are. And then the kids, the little ones, had something else. I feel like they've been coughing for 6 months.
There was like me, Fred, and Violet.
Yeah.
I've had the same thing, whatever that is. And it first started like under my eye, like swollen and sore. And that was like 3 weeks ago. And now I'm back on track, feeling good.
I feel like we are on top of the world because I was stomping around this house being like, I'm never sick. Everybody's sick. I've just had a baby and I'm not sick. But that was pure adrenaline.
You're really down and out, like flattened. And it makes me really sad when that happens because there's nothing I can do to help you because I have to look after the children.
I know.
And so I feel like a bad husband. But I feel like I'm being a good husband as well. Anyways, it's a weird situation now when you are that ill and I can't do anything because I'm like looking after these idiots.
That is 100% you being a good husband.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God. I appreciate it so much. And I was not even flattened by giving birth. Like I was part of the family.
Birth was no problem for you.
Yeah.
The sickness was way harder than your birth story.
I wasn't even looking after Holland.
I know.
I was like, goodbye, everyone, because I didn't have the energy to carry her in my arms. I really didn't. Like after 24 hours of not eating anything, and I still spend the nights with Holland, but oh my God, like even picking her up, and then my milk supply was a bit low. I was like, oh my God. But here we are. We made it.
Made it through.
And to top it all off, you had a Steelers win last night.
A Steelers win. Yep.
That's huge.
It was massive. Big night for us, yeah. We had a big week as well. What did we do this week?
We went to Liverpool. You and I went to the Travel Counselors Conference. Really great people. And we brought Holland, and we had a little night in a hotel, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. That seems like so long ago.
I know. It was only last Saturday.
Okay.
And then we went to a party on Monday without the baby. Look at us. We are bad parents. And then Tuesday we had nothing. Oh, Wednesday I had a lovely little day in London. I went to Holland's newborn hearing screening, and I went to have 2 moles removed.
Yes, while holding Holland.
Yeah.
That's pretty metal.
Because I'm Kanye West and I do dope shit. I went there and they just numb your arm locally, and then they like cut out moles and stitch you up with stitches. And I was holding Holland in one hand and having 2 moles off my right arm removed, because many of you will know I've had melanoma in the past, and I just don't fuck about when it comes to moles. If something looks dodgy to me, I'm like, just get it off and test it. I don't care. So that'll be...
There probably is a better way to do it, but I trust you.
Not
You're going to end up
really.
like, no, just to keep lopping skin off yourself, you're going to end up like, what's that movie?
Silence of the Lambs?
Something like that.
You do agree that one of the moles was weird.
One was weird, for
Yeah.
sure. And you know what you're doing, so I do trust you, but like...
I don't...
there's probably a better way to do it and test it and stuff, but I know you just like fucking get it off, which is cool.
Well, I've also done the better
You
way.
don't want to waste time, yeah.
The better way is to go to One Welbeck and have this amazing machine. The only one in Europe is at One Welbeck in London. And it's this incredible HD 360, like how many cameras did they say? They were telling us about the technology.
It was crazy. It couldn't even fit. I don't know how it got into that room because they had to like extend the ceiling even. It's like, it looks like a spaceship basically.
Yeah. And you go inside and they take one photo, but it's like 1,000 cameras of your whole body, and you can zoom in and they track the moles, and then you need to go back every 6 months or a year or whatever and do it again, and then the AI of this machine knows if you have any changes. But I just went there like while I was pregnant with Holland.
That's
so
like 6 months ago,
Yeah.
minimum.
Well, my moles are different. They just have like this inflammatory response sometimes, and they get like raised and itchy, and I'm not going in every time. I just rather cut them off, and we'll see.
Yeah.
If I'm wrong a bunch of times, if I do it a bunch of times and don't have melanoma, then I'll relax. And then on Thursday, we filmed a quiz show that we can't tell you too much about, but it was super fun with lots of friends and family. And it's pretty sad, actually, that I don't have any friends and family. They're like, we need you to bring 20 friends and family. And I was like, okay. I looked around. Every single person that we invited, apart from David Blackwood, I have exchanged cash with. Elizabeth's my friend, but I pay Elizabeth to do my bookkeeping. Fiona's my friend, but I pay Fiona to do my makeup. Gary, the IV guy, pay him. The wonderful Jane from our children's nursery, pay her. But I suppose they do more for me than I do for them.
I mean, everyone does something for anyone and everybody, I suppose. If we look at it that way.
Yeah. But nobody's like, this is just my friend, like with no money exchange.
Well, who has time for friends anymore? Like, you've got, you got to pay the bills.
Well, pay their bills.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But it was great to see everyone, and I can't wait. I cannot wait until this comes out, because it was a real eclectic mix of people. It was super fun.
It was super fun.
It was great. And then Bobby had all of the cardboard removed from the garage. That was an exciting day.
Well, it was an exciting day, and how many times a year do I have to do this? A lot. So right now, I cleared that out on Friday. We've already got like 6 new boxes in there. So, it won't take long before you and Violet and all these like cat beds and, I don't know, candle boxes. Like some of these boxes, by the way, like we got gifts for, a lot of them are from Holland, and thank you for the gifts, but they would give you the smallest gift, and somehow they're just trying to fuck you off with like, oh, in a small box, fragile. This stuff is not even fragile, and there's like 3 boxes, and then like all this, I don't know, cork paper, whatever you want to call it, and it's just like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
That's exactly what I would call that paper, and I know what's not what it's called, but cork paper to me makes a lot of sense.
That's good.
They don't care about the dads.
No one cares about the dads.
I care about the dads. I've made whole raps about dads.
Well, it's been a long time. Anyways, so that's clear, but it's going to pile up again soon. So
yeah,
just gotta, Christmas is around the corner.
I think we both sound really low key today.
Low key?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
We're just both like coming back from the trenches. It's a real low energy start to the episode. Okay, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this episode, which is the Epstein emails, I did say last week that I would go straight into your emails about the woman who had an unexpected 3rd pregnancy and she didn't really know how to move forward. You're great with this. Listeners always write in and offer advice where I have fallen short. And if you ever want to do that, the email address is tellingeverybodyeverything@gmail.com. We had so many people get in touch about this. All right. This email goes out to the listener pregnant with an accidental 3rd baby. I sympathize with you so much, as I was in the exact same position a few years ago. We too had 2 children and absolutely no intention of having more. So I want to start by saying that whatever you're feeling right now, it's okay. I have felt it too. And I know there are thousands of other women out there who will have felt every awful, tormenting feeling that you're experiencing. This lady goes on to say, from my personal experience, I'd say it felt like being stuck between a rock and a hard place, as whatever decision you make, life will never be the same again. Either way, you will always think, what if? It took me 3 weeks before my mind was made up. It was a torturous time. I felt so torn, so I really get where you are right now. I found it helpful to write down my feelings in a pros and cons format for each scenario to see on paper how I truly felt, rather than having all the elements swimming around in my head. I did also reach out to a Choices charity. There are a number available I came across on the internet. They can offer you therapy over the phone. I know it's so hard feeling like you have nobody to turn to, other than Katherine Ryan's podcast and a plethora of listeners, of course. But these charities can help to provide you with the medication to terminate should you choose to go with that option. There is no right or wrong choice here, only the choice that you feel you can live with the most and the one that you feel is the best option for you and for your family. I'm unsure whether I should share more, but I will anyway. In the end, if you feel that you simply cannot go through with the termination, you should know it's not easy continuing an unplanned pregnancy. It does miss the magic that is felt with the first two that can make you feel so sad and guilty. It's such a mix of feelings. But again, whatever you're feeling, those feelings are totally valid. But I can also tell you that whatever dread or worry there may have been during the pregnancy, once the baby arrived, all of that went away for me. There was no more fear, just love. Whether the concern is not having a big enough house, not earning enough money, worrying about childcare, whatever issue there is, you can muddle through and make it work, as you will love them just the same as the others. One piece of advice I would give you is, when coming to your decision, really take into consideration how you feel your relationship with your partner will navigate the potential new child. And that was actually the hardest part for me. Here is another email from someone to the lady who found herself accidentally pregnant. I'm a mother of 3, and like the lady who wrote in, I found myself accidentally pregnant age 40 with my husband after he had a vasectomy 2 years ago. The likelihood of this happening is apparently 1 in 2,000. So as you can imagine, everybody we told was very shocked. Although we have a very happy marriage, I know that a 4th child would probably break me mentally, as I had suffered with depression after my 3rd baby was born, and my husband felt the same, but wanting me to go back to that dark place. We had already decided that our family was complete, and my husband had elected to have the vasectomy with no pressure from me. It sounds like your listener had already made the same decision with her partner, as she mentions surgery had already been discussed. The financial and emotional strain would have affected everyone in our house, and although we thought long and hard about the situation, we knew that not going through with the pregnancy was the right decision for our family circumstances. Not once have my husband or I regretted our decision, by the way. I would like your listener to know that should she choose not to go ahead with the pregnancy, she's not a bad person. She and her partner would be making a mature and informed choice, and sometimes accidents just do happen and it's no one's fault. I think in a situation like this, it's good to listen to your head, as deep down, I'm sure you know what's best for the health and happiness of your family unit. I would like to wish her the best and urge her to be kind to herself, whichever decision is taken. Another email for the time-sensitive listener. Katherine, this email made me cry. I do not email into podcasts as a non-negotiable policy, but I so wanted you to know how much love there is out there for you and what you're facing. This is for the lady who wrote it, and that is so kind to say to her. It's an issue that is so easy to romanticize. Oh, a baby's always a blessing. And sure, you wouldn't regret having the baby because you're a brilliant mom who would love it wholeheartedly. However, I do fall on the side of if you're not all in. There is a reason you wrote into the podcast, and my hunch is that you were looking for permission to make the decision you didn't want to have to make. I could have got that wrong, and perhaps a good way of working it out is listening to what happens in your head and your heart when Katherine is responding. She makes a compelling case for both keeping and terminating. So as she was talking, did one of her positions resonate with you more than the other one? Did you think, fuck, I know what I have to do, or fuck, I know I need to have this baby? Because unless it's the latter, I think the most compelling point Katherine made was about not sacrificing the things you already have, particularly the happiness of your 2 kids. I have 2 myself, and I struggle on so many levels. I've often thought to myself, I would be a better mom to just 1 kid. That's not designating which one I would discard. Just that if I hadn't let the heady combo of biological clock and societal norms influence me, I'd be the calm, balanced, financially stable mother to 1 daughter right now, instead of the much messier truth. I'd still be divorced either way. Their dad is a dick. I like this lady. Also, it is so chic to have 1 daughter. I'm seeing loads of, this is an aside to the email, which I will get back to. I'm seeing all these posts on social media about the chicness of having just 1 daughter. And I mean, it is chic. And I know because I lived that life for a decade, and now I'm struck down with norovirus. The chicness has left my body. Okay, back to you. Anyway, I'm so sorry you don't feel you have anyone to talk to. I would be happy for the show to pass my details on. Someone showed me this kindness in a similar situation once, and I would love to pay it forward. But something you need to categorically and unequivocally accept is the fact that you are a good person with absolutely nothing to blame yourself for. You found yourself in a situation that is so much more common than you perhaps know. That includes the jealousy you feel towards your pregnant friend. I once had to leave a party after the 3rd pregnancy of the night had been announced for personal reasons that are too grim to go into here. It's normal. It's natural. You're a good person and a fucking brilliant mom and partner. Otherwise, you wouldn't be agonizing so. I wish you all the love, and I know you'll do the right thing for you and your family and come out the other side even stronger than you evidently are. They are all so lucky to have you. People are so nice. This one is a little more off-piste. Katherine, I have just listened to your podcast. Love it as usual. I don't normally email, but after hearing the listener email about the unwanted or unexpected pregnancy, I felt compelled to write. What I have to say may not be that helpful because it's not really advice one way or the other for the listener. I just want to say I'm really annoyed with her husband. I understand that it could be seen as commendable that he's quite chill about her response to the situation, and he has said it's up to her. I mean, that is correct. It is her body and her decision. Like you, I am very pro-choice. However, if it were me, I would be livid if my husband just said, "It's up to you." This is a classic move that men fall back on constantly. This poor woman now feels like the decision is all down to her. When she said in her email, "Am I going to ruin everybody's life by continuing this pregnancy?" I just felt so badly for her. I feel like it needs to be said that her husband should be helping her more with the decision and take a more active role rather than just leaving her to stew over what is an impossible situation. Men love leaving it up to us. It means it's not their fault if it doesn't work out. I think it's also worth noting that the listener explained that her husband had been planning on getting a vasectomy and had not yet had the procedure carried out. Again, red flag. Sounds to me like he should have pulled his finger out and had this procedure carried out long before an accidental pregnancy. Basically, I just had to rant about men and how they often seem to get away with having as little responsibility as possible. FYI, my husband and I have had 2 beautiful sons, and when the question of should we have more children came up, we came to a reasonable decision together that our family felt complete and that he would have a vasectomy. He was naturally quite nervous about a life-changing procedure, but eventually came to the obvious and only conclusion, understanding that I had already changed my body permanently by carrying and giving birth to 2 children, and had prior to that been on the pill for 10 years. It was actually not a very big ask for him to have a vasectomy. He then did not delay booking the procedure and having the procedure, and we have no regrets. The men who act like babies about vasectomies need to get a grip, and women should feel comfortable asking men to get on with it. Sorry that was so long. I go to therapy, and it shows. So many of you wrote in about this dilemma, and I so appreciate it. We're just going to do one more. Katherine, I hope this message finds you well. I'm writing in response to the listener's message about whether to keep or terminate her pregnancy, having experienced a similar situation myself. I completely agree with you, Katherine, that neither decision is wrong. But in my opinion, if someone is questioning what to do, it might indicate a deep-seated desire to keep the baby. Choosing not to keep the baby due to external factors could lead to long-lasting regret and guilt. I found myself in the same predicament approaching 40 while my husband was nearing 50. Discovering that I was pregnant and unplanned was shocking. To make matters worse, the pregnancy was revealed by a nurse prior to minor surgery, which was subsequently canceled. We were informed together, and I watched my husband turn gray and stare out the window for what felt like hours. Well, he was 50. The shock quickly gave way to worries. We felt we were too old. My husband didn't want another child, and we couldn't afford a baby. I was concerned about my career. These thoughts tormented me. We even went to the termination clinic and decided to proceed. I reached the first stage of taking the initial pill, which prepares you for the pills that actually start the abortion. The moment I swallowed that pill, I knew it was a mistake. I felt unwell both mentally and physically, but the pregnancy continued without any known risk or harm to the baby. Today, I love my baby boy more than anything. I can't imagine life without him. We borrowed and begged for money, and we are finally at a turning point where we can start repaying what we owed. I know that if I'd gone through with the second pills, that would have haunted me forever. So if there's even the slightest part of you that wants that baby, then have it and put this behind you. That was another significant hurdle for me, reconciling with what I did and the thoughts I had. Ultimately, though, it led me to the right decision. So, I mean, guys, you never know. Like very, very well-meaning, kind listeners who've written in with their personal experience. And I think that's my takeaway from it, is everyone's experience with something so personal can only be their own. So I hope we haven't confused you more. than when you first wrote us, but it sounds like you have a lot of people's support, people that you don't know, but they are here for you, and that is what being a woman is all about.
Okay.
Bobby, this is your wheelhouse. This week's episode is about the Epstein files, the dog that hasn't barked. Trigger warning, global pedo cabal. What's a cabal?
It's like a cult.
Shit. Well, we got quite a peek behind the curtain of the alleged and suspected global pedo ring that the late Jeffrey Epstein presided over last week, when a trove of emails flooded out into the media, mainstream and otherwise. If you missed all of this, as I did, and Andrew has benevolently summed it up for me, here are the highs, lows, and woes of what we've seen so far. Firstly, his email address was jeevacation@gmail.com, which I assume will be back on the email handle market soon enough. Maybe you could petition to have that email be.
That's not a bad email.
Yeah. J-E-E. What's his middle name? Edward?
Probably.
Jeffrey Edward Epstein?
I don't know his middle name.
I want to know it. Jedward
Okay, well.
Epstein. Okay, secondly, they're rife with grammatical errors, with commas in downright unnatural places. So just know that I'm reading them sick while also feeling sick at the subject matter. To quote one of the stories in the pre-#MeToo Epstein expose in the Daily Beast from 2011, after his 2008 conviction for soliciting underage prostitution, quote, "A jail sentence doesn't matter anymore. The only thing that gets you shunned in New York society is poverty." And is that ethos ever on display in his correspondence? So, Bobby, we will get to the salacious details momentarily. What is it?
Edward.
It is Edward.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh my God, you're being a producer today.
Someone's got to do it.
All right. We will get to the salacious details momentarily, but one piece that's gone a little underreported is Epstein's influence campaigns in European politics. One email showed him speaking with the former Prime Minister of Norway, who was also leading the Council of Europe at that time, seeking connection to Russian officials. Quote, "I think you might suggest to Putin." Putin or Putin?
Whatever. Putin.
Do they say Putin over here?
That sounds weird.
Oh my gosh. Do you know what
like Rasputin.
Yeah.
But I think it's just Putin.
Do you know what we've been saying? Violet and I were like creasing laughing at this. Is the family disparity in the pronunciation of like a tiny woodland animal that eats acorns. How do you say that word?
Don't even start with me. Please, I'm going to get shunned.
So
because I can't stand this. Is a lot of the British words I'm fine with. That makes sense, but this one drives me nuts. Don't even say it.
Okay, before Bobby says it, listen with your ears. He sounds like Joel Dommett when he says it. For some reason, Bobby sounds like Joel Dommett when he says it. When I was growing up in Canada, we would call this animal a squirrel, and it rhymed exactly with girl, but it shouldn't because it's got like 10 letters in it, and it's not supposed to be said that way. Like we lazily pronounce it
squirrel, not squirrel.
I say squirrel.
You don't say squirrel.
I can't.
It's just a squirrel. Come on.
I can't listen to you
Please.
saying that word.
Have some respect.
Try to say it in British again.
I can't.
Please. Because you sound so much like Joel Dommett.
Well, squirrel. That's because that's who I got it from, watching like The Masked Singer or something.
Squirrel. Yeah, but
It sounds like
I say squirrel because you have to pronounce the S-Q-U-I. Like there's a reason it has more than 3 letters. So you can't say it like girl. You have to say squirrel.
You don't have to say it that way.
You do. If you want to be right.
Well, then why do we in Canada
say
squirrel?
Because we're wrong.
So what?
Because we're lazy.
It's easier and it sounds like, that's what it looks like. It looks like a squirrel. It doesn't look like a squirrel. A squirrel is like something fancy creature that doesn't even exist. It's like,
Squirrel.
Anyways.
Like, look, the English language wants you to pronounce it squirrel, or else they wouldn't have spelled it like that. They'd spell it S-Q-U-R-L. Squirrel.
Let's change it. I'm going to petition.
Well, Canada, just change the spelling if that's how you want to say it. All right, where were we? Oh, yes,
Epstein.
Putin. So this is an email. I think you might suggest to Putin that Lavrov can get insight on talking to me, referring to the ghoulish Russian president and his foreign minister. Was this about the fabled piss tape, do you think?
Piss tape. Oh, God.
Yep. Back to the piss tape.
Not again.
I mean, I think you might suggest to Putin that Lavrov can get insight on talking to me. I don't know what that sentence means.
I'm not sure either.
All right, moving on. One of the more pathetic findings were in the constant back and forth between Epstein and former U.S. Treasury Secretary and president of Harvard, Larry Summers, who apparently sought dating advice from Epstein like an 11-year-old boy would from his older brother's skeezy friend he considered a Lothario because he bragged about fingering a girl behind the bins one time. In exchange, months before Epstein ostensibly killed himself, Summers was desperate for advice on a woman who was playing hard to get. So here's this email. 16th of March, 2019, Larry Summers wrote, "We talked on the phone. Then I can't talk later. Don't think I can talk tomorrow. I said, what are you up to? She said, I'm busy. I said, awfully coy you are. And then I said, did you really rearrange the weekend we were going to be together because guy number 3 was coming? She said, no, his schedule changed after we changed our plans. I said, okay, got to go. Call me when you feel like it. Tone was not of good feeling. I don't want to be in a gift-giving competition while being the friend without benefits." And Jeffrey Epstein, dating coach, replied, "She's smart, making you pay for past errors. Ignore the daddy. I'm going to go out with the motorcycle guy. You reacted well. Annoyed shows caring. No whining shows strength." And like, I cannot tell you how hard it is to read these emails because they are grammatically all over the place. Like, the spellings are wrong.
It's the most normal thing Epstein's ever done. It's like, and I'm guilty of it too. I don't want to fix my mistakes, even if I see them. Do you know what I mean? If you're writing an email.
Oh.
Like.
This really checks out with Squirrel.
Yeah, it does. But like, it's like, okay, you get the point. And when I message you, like, I just throw them in there. I'm not going to fix them. You'll figure it out on your own. And yes, these emails just indicate that, like, he doesn't give a fuck.
Oh, obviously. You know what? Maybe he uses Dictate.
Yeah, that's what I use.
2019 using Dictate.
Maybe. Is it 2019?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well, these emails, I know the emails came out. I haven't had a chance to go through exactly what happened, but I know that, like, there is some stuff that is now confirmed that he's, worked for the Mossad, Israeli intelligence, as some type of spy.
They're called the Mossad?
Yeah.
That's a cool name.
Yeah. And so whether that was some involved, whether it ties into like the, Lolita Express airliner, I don't really know, but this guy's like got some bad enemies.
Yikes. So where do you get all your Epstein information? How do you know all this about the emails? Because I haven't even seen it.
I know the emails came out. There's, I know about that. And there's some like Donald Trump stuff as well, which I don't really know what's going on there. But I get my information from X or podcasts. Yeah.
Okay, well, this is about Trump. So another rather mortifying exchange between Summers and Epstein laid in a 2017 back and forth in which Summers made a joke about women being stupid. He predicted President Trump's world will collapse, then lamented, quote, "I'm trying to figure out why American elite think if you murder your baby by beating and abandonment, it must be irrelevant to your admission to Harvard. But hit on a few women 10 years ago, you can't work at a network or think tank. Do not repeat this insight." What?
I'm not sure. Let me just say this. Trump is certainly a certified creep and is probably guilty of lots of really horrible things. He was definitely friends of Epstein's. So was Bill Clinton. Everyone from like that 90s political whatever climate was all guilty and all hid information and all are very sad pieces of shit. So I hate everyone from that era. Yeah. And I continue to.
Here's a little bit related to Andrew. We've all seen the photo of Andrew and the late Virginia Roberts and Ghislaine Maxwell, much more on her in a bit, which Andrew has vehemently denied the authenticity of. Well, Epstein clearly confirms that it's the former Duke and then 17-year-old Virginia Giuffre. Yes, she was on my plane. Yes, she had her picture taken with Andrew, as many of my employees have. Another email from someone identified as the Duke asks that any public statements strongly distance him from allegations. Quote, "Please make sure that every statement or legal letter states clearly that I'm not involved and that I knew and know nothing about any of these allegations. I can't take any more of this on my end." Sounds like his mummy was getting cross.
Oh, no.
Epstein also emails a publicist saying, quote, the girl who accused Prince Andrew can easily be proven to be a liar, and adds that he thinks, quote, Buckingham Palace would love it, end quote, suggesting an effort to undermine her credibility regarding her allegations about Andrew. Do you want to get into some Trump stuff, BK?
What kind of stuff?
Well, you have been, not accused, assumed to like Trump in the past.
Yes, I have been.
And I know you don't.
Yes. Violet even still thinks I do. Like, it's just crazy. But anyways.
Well, I think all that you've done is you have reminded us that, like, all these people on both sides, Bill Clinton being an example.
Yes.
Even if you're left wing, you're like sick and you're bought and you're power hungry and twisted. And
yeah, you're given like an illusion of choice. Like, pick, Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. It's like, how about none of them?
Yeah.
And why is it just those two? Then everyone gets all like, I don't know.
He makes it difficult to ignore.
He makes it difficult, yes. But like, and then everyone just gets on one side or the other and they gang up on each other and no one can have any difference of opinions and it drives me nuts. And so me kind of being right wing, and by right wing just kind of based on the last bunch of years, I kind of lean more right a little bit. Doesn't make me a Trump supporter.
No.
And that's what Violet and some of my enemies,
other
enemies,
yeah,
think. But I fucking hate Trump. I hate everyone.
I know.
Go ahead.
So that's nice and clear now. In a December 2015 email to a reporter at the New York Times, Epstein claimed Trump was so distracted by the women that he almost walked into a glass door like a horny old Mr. Magoo.
It's like Peter Sellers.
Yeah. Quote, read the BuzzFeed article in my airplane logos and Hawaiian tropics contest, Epstein wrote. Have them ask my houseman about Donald almost walking through the door, leaving his nose print on the glass as young women were swimming in the pool, and he was so focused he walked straight into the door. In March 2018, Epstein's brother, Mark, asked how he was doing. Epstein said, Bannon with me, referencing Steve Bannon, Trump's former White House chief of staff and current Antichrist. Mark then told his brother to ask Bannon if Russian President Vladimir Putin had, quote, the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. Jeffrey replied, and I thought I had Suris, using the Yiddish term for problems. Oh, Suris, problems.
I'm surprised you don't know that one.
I don't know Yiddish. A bit of Hebrew, zero Yiddish.
Oh.
Bubba is a well-known nickname for Bill Clinton, and the internet is both fascinated and repulsed by the image of Donald Trump Monica Lewinskying Bill Clinton, although the image of Donald Trump in a blue dress and jaunty beret is mildly amusing. Yeah. What do you think about this?
I mean, I don't think that Trump would blow Bill Clinton.
I don't think so either.
I don't think Bill Clinton would want Trump to blow him. Like, I don't think it's the right fit. I think blowing Bubba might be something coded, but not Bill Clinton. There's no way.
Absolutely not. Trump is not blowing anybody.
No.
Remember when DJ Khaled was like, I'm the king of my house. I don't go down on my wife because I'm the king. And I don't eat pussy. That was the quote. He's like,
I don't remember that.
Oh my God. It was a big thing because the internet was like, you eat everything else. Like, they made fun of him. They were very fat phobic in their reaction. But he has this mindset of being a king, and DJ Khaled again, believes that like being a king means you don't go down on someone because it's submissive. And I think Trump would be very much the same.
Yeah. And so
like, I don't think Trump's going down on women.
But I don't think Clinton is like the biggest like pervert, like creep, but to only women. He's got like, I don't know how many, like dozens of like cases, and it's always the same case. But I don't buy it.
Nope. In January 2019, email to author Michael Wolff, which was partially redacted, Epstein mentioned Mar-a-Lago and said, quote, Trump said he asked me to resign, never a member ever, adding, of course he knew about the girls, and he asked Ghislaine to stop. In the summer of 2019, Epstein was arrested on federal sex trafficking charges and died in a Manhattan prison weeks later. In an email to himself sent on the 1st of February 2019, months before he was arrested and died in prison, Epstein wrote, quote, Trump knew of it and came to my house many times during that period, adding, he never got a massage. And finally, the closest thing to a smoking gun we've seen yet. In an email to Ghislaine Maxwell in 2011, Epstein wrote, quote, I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. And then there's a victim's name that has been redacted. Blah, who has since been disclosed as Virginia, spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. Police chief, etc. I'm 75% there. Maxwell replied, I have been thinking about that. They speak so weird in their emails.
Yeah, well, they're kind of trying to code it and trying to I don't even know why they would, but they do.
Well, predictably, the MAGA faithful are twisting themselves into pretzels trying to justify why this doesn't implicate their orange god king and even exonerates him. The hands down worst take award goes to Megyn Kelly. You might know her as the former Fox News host. Charlize Theron earned a Best Actress nod for portraying in 2019's Bombshell, and pertinently after calling Trump out on his misogyny during a 2016 Republican primary debate. Trump said of her, "You could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever." Well, for once, we actually agree with Trump because she's clearly suffering a cerebral hemorrhage as evidenced by this. So this past Wednesday, November 12th, on an episode of her Sirius program, The Megyn Kelly Show, the host and her guest discussed the email dump. And while Kelly acknowledged Epstein's abuse of underage girls, saying, quote, Epstein did like them young, and there were several young women who he did this to were minors who were underage. There's no question about that. However, not able to leave well enough alone, she then insisted that Trump was not involved, adding, "This is a true fact about Jeffrey Epstein, but it's not a true fact about Donald Trump." Then she went on to allege that she knew somebody very, very close to the Epstein case who's in a position to know virtually everything. She claimed the unidentified individual, quote, told me from the start years and years ago that Jeffrey Epstein, in this person's view, was not a pedophile. He was into the barely legal type. He liked 15-year-old girls. And I realize this is disgusting. I'm definitely not trying to make an excuse for this. I'm just giving you facts. He wasn't into like 8-year-olds, but he liked the very young teen types that could pass for even younger than they were, but would look legal to a passerby. The host then claimed, "We have yet to see anybody come forward and say, I was under 10, I was under 14 when I first came within his purview." You can say that's a distinction without a difference. I think there is a difference. There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old, you know? She said that on her podcast.
Who said that?
Megyn Kelly.
Well,
not great.
I mean, not great. No. It's, she's saying like...
Look, I'll say it so you don't have to.
Yeah, thank you.
There is a difference between a 15-year-old girl and a 5-year-old.
Yeah. But
they're both children and
right.
No one should be abusing them. But like...
It's just a tough argument to like publicly put yourself out there and yeah.
Well, the trouble is we have a sick society that music and film and fashion, like all of these arenas have sexualized 15-year-old girls.
Oh yeah, for a very long time.
And 15-year-old girls who look 12 or 13.
Yeah.
And so, like,
I mean,
the
in the
world
60s,
is sick.
like these, like, Roman Polanski's and Woody Allen, like people were dating them and it was fine. And David Bowie, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. So, yes, there's a difference, but like, come on.
But I mean, how can you go on your podcast and be like, yes, he was a child rapist, but...
I know, that's what I mean. It's,
yeah.
It's eggy.
It's a bad take. And I've seen a lot of people reacting to this on socials. And a very young girl, she was 15, but she looks 12. She went on there talking about it. And she was really articulate. And it was great, actually, to be like, these are still children. These are still girls who, get scared at a sleepover and call and ask to come home and who don't have, the adult capabilities that, they're not over 18. By the way, I think 18 is still sick. I think... circumstance dependent. I think 19 and 20 is still pretty sick. Flying these girls over, it wasn't a coincidence that they were under 18. It was exploitative of their childlike demeanor and features and build and vulnerability. Like, there's a reason. A lot of sick fucking creeps out there. Thank you to Bobby for being my guest on today's Telling Everybody Everything. Tinseltown is coming out on Sky Cinemas soon, and I am in it, which is crazy. But even without me, especially without me, it is a really, really fun, classic Christmas film with loads of comedy Faces, Moan Rizwan, Rebel Wilson, Danny Dyer, and of course, starring Kiefer Sutherland, which was amazing to be a part of. You can come see me in Los Angeles on January 29th at 7 p.m. I've put some ticket links on my socials, so you can just go in my little Instagram bio. I've got some links there too. My stand-up special has not been announced, but it comes out really soon, so I think we'll probably be announcing that next week, and I would love it if you gave that a watch. If you came to see me on tour, it is my Battle Axe show, but it's renamed Firstborn Daughter. You can listen to my other podcasts, Write Me Dirty, and also What's My Age Again, wherever you get your podcasts. Please look after each other. If you ever want to write me an email, it's tellingeverybodyeverything@gmail.com, and I'll see you soon.